My name is Sarah Razor, and I'm a CCA alum. I'm the Senior Manager of Emergency Planning at Churchill Downs Racetrack. So I help work with our operations, security, pretty much every team on site to make sure that we have a cohesive and all-encompassing plan for anything that could happen, from an emergency, from a medical incident, all the way up to the worst-case scenario. A lot of what I do is work to coordinate evacuation procedures. I work with our local, state, and federal law enforcement and public safety partners to make sure that we're all on the same page. We host the Kentucky Derby every year, which is 150 to 160,000 people. We want to make sure that we keep them safe when they come to our property. So my goal is to make sure that all the balls are up in the air and running at the same speed. After graduating CCA, I went to Morehead State University and received a Bachelor's of Government. I graduated from there and continued on at Morehead for my Master's of Public Administration, while at the same time I got my Master's of Security and Intelligence Studies from the Citadel. So when I graduated college, I wanted to be a chief of staff. I wanted to go to DC, do the whole politic thing. I realized quickly in my kind of undergraduate career that I was much more interested in the security side of it. I wanted to protect people, I wanted to keep people safe. So then I moved on from there to kind of take a few electives in security and intelligence studies. Loved the field, loved analysis. So I kind of just went that route. I got the degrees that were interesting to me, not those that I felt like I should get, and ended up using it to pursue a career that I was passionate about. When you come to work at Churchill, you don't know what a derby is until you see it from the backside of it. 150,000 people in the stands, what the challenges that brings, the complications that brings, and then the reward that that brings. The stands are filled, every seat is bought out. The people that are coming have been coming for 50 years. Some of them are celebrities, some of them are former presidents, some of them are neighbors that are local that this is their whole world, is the Derby. And trying to make sure that every piece is moving at the same time is a massive undertaking. We have a great team that puts on a show, but if one piece is out of line, the whole show gets thrown off. It's never a boring day. So I did 2 phases with CCA. The first was elementary school. Once I got to 5th grade, I wanted to try out some public school. Went to public school through 6th through 8th grade, and then came back to CCA in 8th grade through to finish up to high school. I remember walking into the house after school one day and looked at my mom and said, I'm tired of spending 8 hours a day when I don't get to research things that are exciting to me. I don't get to learn about my passions. And she said, what do you want to do? And I said, I want to go back to cyber school. I think CCA fostered my level of curiosity better than any other schooling option. So I really wanted to learn, I wanted to research, and so that kind of led me to the analysis side of what I do. I think that's why I like my job so much, is because it's pulling different departments together for one common goal and saying, okay, what does guest services have to do for an emergency? What does operations have to do? What does broadcast have to do? What does communications have to do? And getting all of those pieces to fit together, I don't think I would have learned that by sitting in a structured educational framework for 8 hours a day. I think I had to learn that by figuring out, how do you manage research, how do you manage time? And I did that with CCA.